Asperger's syndrome, which is basically a type of autism that is very high functioning autism, and it causes social and behavioral issues. So I'd been in special ed school for my whole life up until 9th grade and throughout the beginning of high school. I was comfortable with special ed school, and there was a part of me that really didn't want to get out of special ed school. And so throughout my time in middle school, I joined a program where everyone in the program had gone to public school, which made me think, oh, I wanted to do the same thing. And when I had a chance to switch between stages of school. And this is an off-Broadway acting program for people who were my age at that time. When I had just turned 14, there was about 75% of me that really wanted to go from special ed middle school to public high school, but then there was another 25% of me that had my reasons why I didn't want to. And I was afraid of going into unknown territory. So then I basically proceeded, and while I was looking at public schools, my parents helped me to find one that helped me to pursue my interests, which is music. And music had always been a deep passion of mine since I was a baby. And not to mention that my 4 favorite composers, both then and now, were Bach, Beethoven, Brahms, and Haydn. And I don't know how Haydn got in there, but looking back on it now, the problem with special ed school was that they had little to no music, which was something that I really wanted to go into, specifically piano playing. And the high school at my special ed school, they had a music program, but I was too advanced for it. In fact, there was the one music teacher that they had at my middle school who told me I could have taught the class. So I was still searching for high schools, but didn't really know where to look. But then I came across a music high school that had 10 hours of music per week. I decided to go for it, and I had to audition. But then a week before the audition, I also had to have my wrist reconstructed. And meanwhile, not only did I get in, but then a few years in, I tried for a concerto competition. I won that and played with a full orchestra when I was in the school. In addition, as scared as I felt at the beginning, I was able to make my first friend, which I thought was pretty cool, but I needed to figure out things to talk about. And then eventually I ended up enjoying the new friends, as well as the 10 hours of music a week and more challenging academics. So then at the very, very, very beginning, I felt scared, and also I was overwhelmed by the amount of schoolwork that I was getting thrown at me. I remember I was thinking to myself that I didn't know how I was going to be able to handle 4 years of the academics and the schoolwork and whatnot. So something that specifically added to my anxiety was the fact that I had to pass a bunch of exams, and it was so much information to process that I didn't know how I would pass. The regents, which is the exam I had to take, scared the living daylights out of me. The first regents I ever took, I ended up failing, and then a lot of the others also failed. But then the second regents, I was able to pass with the help of an outside course. So as time went on, I wasn't as scared and overwhelmed as witnesses might have thought I was. Then eventually, by choice, I started working my way in more and more to both the academic and social part of the music high school. And I started being treated like the others more and more without having an issue. So then next thing, I graduated 4 years later from there, and they were encouraging me to go to college, which I did, and came across a certain college that I also transitioned into as a music major. And although that was less of a transition because I was already in a music school, but still a transition. And then I graduated from that college with a Bachelor of Science degree. And this all was to teach me that transitioning into a public high school, it taught me that anything is possible if you set your mind to it. And in addition, playing it safe is not always the way to go. Thank you.
Congratulations!